Well, lots of local governments depend on money from the state, and every year, Albany cuts checks to those towns, villages, and cities.
But a review of one huge state program finds that some communities get much larger checks than others. Investigative reporter Steve Brown has a story about how towns and villages in New York State are getting shortchanged in this Two on Your Side original.
New Yorkers are all one big family. In his State of the State address this year, Governor Andrew Cuomo said, "We are the family of New York." But it looks like some family members are valued more than others. In one state aid program, a dollar value has been placed on you, and the amount depends on where you live. The program is Aid and Incentives for Municipalities, otherwise known as AIM. It's one of the biggest funding sources for local governments. Total pot of money, over $700 million. But the money is not split up evenly. It's very uneven. An example. Here's the city of Tonawanda, the town of Tonawanda, and the village of Kenmore. They're suburban neighbors and all have the same jobs: fire and police protection, fixing roads, plowing streets, all that. The city of Tonawanda and the village of Kenmore have very similar populations, around 15,000 people. The town of Tonawanda, 73,000, almost 5 times more than its neighbors. But when state government divvies up AIM funding, Kenmore last year got $641,000. The city of Tonawanda, $2.6 million. But the town of Tonawanda, only $585,000. What gives? That's what the Tonawanda supervisor would like to know.
There's no extra money, at least in the town of Tonawanda.
Yeah. Eminger is well aware his municipal neighbors get more AIM money, and Tonawanda is not alone. Most New York towns and villages get shortchanged when it comes to AIM funding.
Towns and villages vis-a-vis cities are definitely underfunded. What is the reason for this, and how is this considered a rational aid formula? And the bottom line is, it's not.
And it makes town and village governing tougher. Now, the state did jump in with cash when the town of Tonawanda lost its biggest taxpayer, the Huntley Power Plant. But the struggle is still real when it comes to basic things like dealing with pothole season.
The roads, everybody, is calling my office about, already, about the potholes, and that money has to come from somewhere.
There's even imbalance among cities. These are the top 8 Western New York AIM recipients last year, all cities. But some smaller cities do better than larger cities. Compare Lackawanna and Lockport. Lockport has more people and gets millions less.
You have to know what the formula is, I guess.
We asked about the funding formula. We asked the State Division of Budget. Turns out there's a story, and you might want to get comfortable because this is going to take a second. Once upon a time, there were multiple state municipal funding programs, but in 2005, then Governor George Pataki said, hey, let's have just one big one, and that was the AIM program. The idea was to incentivize good municipal behavior. If you were good fiscally, if you're merging services, you could earn more money year to year, and the pot was supposed to grow by $100 million, so municipalities were competing for a bigger piece of the AIM kitty. But then 2008 came rolling along, and the Great Recession. The state suddenly found itself with a $10 billion budget hole, and things got cut, and that includes the AIM program. And the program is pretty much the same to this very day, heavily tilted in favor of cities. So what can be done about this inequity? The mayor of the village of Fredonia has an idea.
The most fair way to do it is to develop a formula that is based on population.
Athanasia Landis, in her first elected post, making just $12 grand as Fredonia's chief executive, has a huge problem on her hands. Parts of Fredonia's water system are crumbling. Some residents have orange flecks in their water. Estimated cost of all the needed village water repairs, $30 million.
If we are pushed into spend $30 million, I don't think we can find it, first of all.
Fredonia has gotten emergency state aid for some repairs and is applying for state grants. But she knows this. While her village, with a population of under 11,000, got 89 grand in AIM money last year, next door, the city of Dunkirk, with a little over 12,000 residents, got almost 1.6 million.
I have nothing against the city of Dunkirk or any other city. You see that cities get way more money than the that villages do. And this is simply by designation. It's nothing else. I don't see anything else. I don't understand the formula, if there is one.
To be fair, Governor Cuomo inherited the AIM program, but he has not changed it. So if you want to know what your local government got in AIM funding last year, all you have to do is go to our website, WGRZ.com, right now. You can check your community. You can check the neighboring communities. It's all there.
Okay, I've got to ask, is this a political thing? I mean, the governor is a Democrat. Cities are dominated by Democrats. Villages and towns, not so much.
Peter Baines, who's the head of the New York Conference of Mayors, doesn't think that there's political shenanigans going on here. Now, a spokesman from the State Division of Budget says that cities tend to be more fiscally distressed. That's true in New York, but that's just 18% of New York cities, which means 82% are just fine. And towns and villages often deliver many of the very same services that cities do these days. That's especially true here in the Buffalo and suburban area.
And towns can't just change their name into a city in order to get more money either.
No, the last time a community was allowed to become a city, and that's by legislative decree, 1940s. So that hasn't happened in a really long time.
Really unfair and sadly no real explanation.
No, it's just the way that things have been done in state government, and it's the way they continue to be done, unbalanced.
We'll add that to the list. Great report, though. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.